I just finished the Matrix trilogy again before the new movie comes out and wanted to address a few things. In the 20 years or so, a little better because it came out like 99. Since the movie's been out, of course, there's been many interpretations, red pill, blue pill. But I want to give the definitive interpretation. And so I'll stay a little bit shy of the religious and transgender ones because, of course, the main attack right now is on woke culture. And a movie by the Wachowski brothers, that's basically what they should be called, the Wachowski, who are now transgender themselves, did not make a movie for the alt-right or the extreme right or anything else because of their very lives of embracing acceptance, of not accepting limits and limitations and things like that. So they've even attacked the right for interpreting the red pill in any kind of way other than really for being woke. And I really want to put those things together as Resurrections gets ready to come out because it's very important to understand that what the movie was initiating or offering up in 1999 is exactly where we are culturally as far as not accepting systems or boundaries or things like that. There's a speech that Neo is giving at the end of the first movie about breaking down the systems and breaking down the things like that. But when Morpheus takes him out and they see the girl in the red dress, he's saying you can't wake up everybody because many of them are attached and will fight like hell to stay here. And the best interpretation of that is basically clinging on and voting for somebody like Trump to hang on to making America great again, of Cypher's world. Put me back in the Matrix again. Put me back into a world where we didn't have to worry about saying the N word or people's pronouns or give anybody else rights or do anything else or watch what we say. Everyone had to watch what they said around us. They might be fired. They might be beaten. They might be held hostage. A woman couldn't get a credit card on her own. She couldn't afford to get a divorce. Black people didn't have any rights. Take us back to where we come from. We don't want to be in this red pill world that is cluttered and chaotic and disorderly because everybody has a say. Everybody is pressing for their rights. And so this is not as clean and orderly as we had it when nobody could move without our say-so, when nobody could breathe without our say-so, when everyone had to be concerned about our approval. Now we have to worry about if we say something wrong. Now we have to be concerned that we could lose our jobs for doing the wrong thing or offending the right person. That's for them. That's not for us. That's for them. And so when you come into this world that we live into now, where the police are not just wholesome and good and the black community is just a band of criminals, but everyone has out their cell phone saying, hey, no one's directing this. We're just holding it so you can see for yourself what this really looks like. This is what's real, not how you imagined it. That they're just there, and surely, I've been told long into my life, surely they must have been doing something. Surely I must have been doing something. Surely, because all people could do is imagine the way the cops treat them. And the cops ignore them most times. And even if they're doing something bad, they will be told to stop. It's very unlikely they're going to be beaten. There's a very unlikely that a traffic ticket situation could end in their death. They're not hardly even expecting it to end in a ticket, let alone life and death situation. So the red pill world is where we're going to. And we have a bunch of people clamoring to go back into the blue pill world. Make America Great Again is clamoring to take the blue pill. Take us back. Take us back. I know this steak isn't real. I know women weren't really happy. I know minorities were suffering, but I don't care. I want to live in the mythology that it was better for everybody when only we had rights. And so that is why, never mind from the writers and the directors who are spitting on anybody from the right who interprets it any other way. But when you see parents or non-parents screaming at school boards about their kids learning true history that all groups contributed and that racism was baked into the laws. Black people didn't put it into the laws. We didn't put in 3/5 human. We didn't put in all of those type of things to limit their rights to vote. We didn't put in separate water fountains. We did not do it. But so that your children aren't as ignorant as you are, they need to learn that's where the problem came from. That there were redlining laws, and that's where the ghettos and the suburbs came from. They need to learn about white flight. That's where the suburbs and the ghetto came from. They need to learn about slavery in its totality, not as this passive thing, because black people are not immigrants. Immigrants means agency, that you deliberately moved here. I've even heard somebody like Whoopi Goldberg say, unless you're Native American, Native Americans are more immigrants than black people. Native Americans used agency to cross the Pangea or something, or the Bering Strait on their trek from Africa to get here. That's agency. Traveling in the bottom of a slave ship for 3 months is not agency. You did not elect or choose to come here. So give you an example that you can appreciate. If I kidnap a white girl in the Ukraine and drag her here and lock her up and have people use her for sex and she does not benefit at all in her lifetime, she did not immigrate here. She is a sex slave. She has been trafficked. She is a victim. She is not an immigrant. So that's how that works. If someone's drugged here against their will or taken anywhere against their will, it's called kidnapping. Somebody can take you across town. You're not immigrating across town. You didn't move across town. Someone kidnapped your child and took them across town or took them out of state. So being displaced forcibly is the opposite of immigration. So if you fight against your kids learning the facts, then they will be as ignorant as you are about why Black Lives Matter exists. They won't understand what it's about. They'll be listening to Fox News like you, thinking it's a terrorist group trying to tear down America. But Black Lives Matter is trying to tear down the matrix, the mythology, the facade of America, and say, let's deal with it as it is, because we're here and we're out and we look worn and everything else, but you are still human too. And you're in a embryonic vat. And every piece of tug at the machinery inside your brain feels bad, feels like it's pulling you away from reality, but you're being pulled into reality. And when we stop the machine and the machinery of all the prejudices that we humanly can, because that has to be at least our aspirational goal, that we're trying to stop as many prejudices as we can, then we can actually build from where we actually are. Pretending this is not where we are, fighting Black Lives Matter, fighting CRT, is just trying to deny reality. It should be critical reality theory, and that you're fighting it. And the world you're talking about isn't coming back. It's okay for my kids to go to school named after Confederate generals, or to see posters or statues standing up in front of the courthouse that they have to go into. Never mind their self-esteem. But if your children have to learn the truth about how this country was built, it's your responsibility to shield them from reality and put on a hat that says, "Make America great again." Give me my blue pill back. Cypher, eating a steak.